The original 1997 Final Fantasy VII accidentally created some of the greatest women of all time. From the streets of Japan to the parliament of the Italian government, Final Fantasy VII's women are known throughout video game players all across the world. Like any good JRPG from the late 90s, they understood that they needed to have a diverse roster of characters. And no, I'm not talking about diversity in the sense of race and skin tone. That's shallow. I'm talking about diversity in the form of character personality and traits. What Final Fantasy VII did was they took those character personalities and traits and they maxed those stats to the absolute limits. Allow me to cook and explain. If you take the game's three main heroines, Aerith, Tifa, and Yuffie, you'll notice that they're all very different from one another, very diverse cast here, and that's to make it so that at least one of them has something that you value, keeping you interested and keeping you playing the game. Let's start with Aerith. You have what I call the paragon of purity. This is, like it or not, the traditional housewife, no doubt about it. I mean, look at this character art, just look at it. It is the very definition of femininity. You have a giant pink hair tie, a long pink modest dress with necklaces, bracelets. She's got the neatly braided hair, those 90s bangs. I mean, they are selling prim, proper, and pure, and they're doing a damn good job of it. And to match with this look, her interests, hobbies, and background totally reinforces this. Let me take you back to the scene where you first met Aerith. You literally drop down from the sky onto a bed of flowers that she planted herself in a church so that you can become her bodyguard and protect her from other bad men. In battle, she wields a staff and is the best healer and supporter in the game, and when you get back to her hometown, you learn that she's very good with children, and you become friends with her mom. This is the peak male fantasy.
I wrote a blog post a while ago about why I f***ing hate video games, because this is what it does. It appeals to like the male fantasy.
That being said, I don't think they built this character to appeal to men at all. I think that's entirely an accident. It's purely coincidental. I think they built this character to strengthen the game's story, to strengthen the game's antagonist, because what they do is after they're done building her up, they immediately murder her in front of your eyes. That's right, this isn't a love story. This is about revenge and retribution, baby. And the most tragic deaths have the greatest impacts and are the greatest motivators. And this makes you actually want to see the game through to completion, to finish what Sephiroth started. By making Aerith as kind, compassionate, and as innocent as possible, it makes you feel that much worse for when they straight up kill her, and that's what makes her the paragon of purity. Next we have a completely different character than Aerith, one that appeals to the more, let's say, simple-minded men. Now, the character design here is actually very simple, black and white, pretty plain, but that's the intention. By making it so the clothing doesn't stick out, it draws you to other parts of her body, and although they try to not make the clothing stick out, it does. Take a look at the straps here and how they curve around rather than go straight. It's accentuating that area. It's as if the straps are saying, hell no, we can't support that weight, we give up, we're just gonna chill off to the side here.
Hello? Ewan, is that you?
Ewan! What are you doing over there?
How did you get over there, Ewan? You're on the wrong side of the chest-high wall!
And if you take a look at her lower half, I mean, there's really not much there, and that's to drive the point home. This character is all about admiring the body, and that's what makes Tifa here what I call the paragon of beauty. Make no mistake, making the character this hot is strictly necessary, because Final Fantasy VII is a really dark, depressing, and unforgiving game. You need a character to contrast that, to give the player something to look at that's not as completely hopeless as some of these environments in this game. My village was burnt down by my childhood hero, but hey, at least I made some good memories with the hot neighbor next door. The Sector 7 slums are a filthy place that gets literally no sunshine, but hey, at least the girl at the bar is into me. I'm diving headfirst into this reactor where all the security, their guard dogs, and monsters are trying to kill me, but hey, at least this might impress Tifa a little bit. I say this jokingly, but legitimately, she is the anchor that keeps Cloud moving forward, keeps his head in the game, and even comes in clutch, saving him from being crippled later on. I can't make any of this up, and I can't wait to see how the remake screws this part up. The point is, she was not made to be physically beautiful. I think that's just a happy accident. I think she was designed to be spiritually beautiful in how she carries Cloud throughout the course of the game and basically saves his life. Tifa's beauty comes across in so many ways more than just that of face value, and that's what makes her the paragon of beauty. Rounding out the cast, we have, this little gremlin here. The gremlin's name is Yuffie, and she represents pretty much everything that Tifa and Aerith don't. You see, men typically look for 3 girls in dating. You're looking for somebody who you could raise a family with, like Aerith. You're looking for someone who's just straight up really attractive, like Tifa. Or, if you can't find one of those two, then you get Yuffie. And Yuffie represents what I call fun. Because if you can't find those two, you'll settle for somebody you simply have fun hanging around with. Yuffie's greatest strength is that she brings to the table what the other 2 characters don't. Aerith is reserved, whereas Yuffie is spunky and outgoing. Tifa fights like a tomboy, but she doesn't look like one, whereas Yuffie looks like a tomboy, but fights like a kid.
No! You got me!
Zack is actually the perfect pair for Yuffie because he already speaks like an infant.
Me? Gungaga.
Which brings me to my next point. Having her in your party is basically playing Parenting Simulator 7. Remember before when I said she was fun? Well, fun is a completely subjective word. You either like her shit or you're simply putting up with it. But that's really the best part of the original Final Fantasy VII is you don't have to put up with it. You can just not recruit the character at all. She is a completely optional secret character, a phrase foreign to modern games. But even if you don't like the character, and believe me, there are many, in a game of serious characters delivering serious dialogue, she can be a breath of fresh air, and she's fun to tell to shut up. You never know what stupid shit she's gonna say next. Friend groups in school did this. They kept a guy who was below room temperature IQ around just so that they could feel good about themselves and not being the dumbest person in the room. Like her or hate her, you can't deny that Yuffie is at least interesting to be around, and that's why she's the paragon of fun. So now that I've given you the context as to why these characters are so awesome, let's determine how they were completely ruined in the remake. Let's go over the 3 stat values that were maxed out in the original 1997. You have Aerith with purity, you have Tifa with beauty, and you have Yuffie with fun. Coincidentally, purity, beauty, and fun are the 3 things that modern video game corporations have been at war with over the last decade. And Aerith, Tifa, and Yuffie are unfortunate casualties of that war. Let me show you as we once again travel back to the scene where Cloud met Aerith for the first time. This time, it's the remake version. Damn it, Sephiroth, get out of my video! The Fate Ghosts and Sephiroth are part of the narrative being destroyed. That's a completely separate video. While technically that was the first time Cloud met Aerith in the remake, I'm talking about something else. Let's move on.
Okay.
Easy now.
You worry too much. I'm not some princess who needs to be coddled.
And the damsel in distress trope, as a recurring trend, does help to normalize extremely toxic, patronizing, and paternalistic attitudes about women.
Shit.
Wait, what? Since when did Aerith turn into Sweareth? My boys Sid and Barrett got swears enough to cover the whole team. This makes great streamer clips because of the sheer shock value, but it's only shocking because it's something that she wouldn't say. It's pure character assassination. Aerith's character and integrity were sacrificed here all in the name of making a few viral clips. Also, with the addition of voice acting in Remake, some of the delivery comes across as downright condescending from Aerith. Take a look at this clip.
My hero.
Never a dull moment with you.
That a compliment?
Anytime that Cloud is an actual badass, she completely downplays it, almost as if talking down to him and making it a joke. If this is how she reacts when we save her here, then how are we supposed to feel anything for when we try to save her later on in the story? Lastly, and this is the most egregious thing, she loves it when Cloud is suffering. Now just bear with me for a second as we watch one of the worst scenes in Remake. This bit has never been happier. The flamboyant singing man is touching me.
He's flamboyant, Kathleen, you're not gay.
And she is laughing and clapping. I am disgusted, uncomfortable, and angry, and she is loving every moment of it. She fucking hates me. This is an unskippable scene because they put a fucking interactive minigame in it, and because I'm a perfectionist, I'm trying to get a perfect score, and this bitch is laughing at me. You know what? We're skipping to the end of disc 2. We're skipping to the end of disc 2 right now. Remember that time? You remember that time where you had me dance with the flamboyant singing man and you didn't do nothing about it? You just stood there, watched and laughed and clapped? Well, guess what? You owe me a pizza. Thanks, Sephiroth. You can be in my videos after all. You know, it is a shame that they killed Aerith's purity, but at least Cloud will never be hungry in the afterlife, knowing that 2 women now owe him pizzas.
Yeah. You owe me a pizza.
And with one fantasy dead, it's now time to kill one of the other ones. And this is one of the ones that Western corporations hate the most in media. Beauty.
And so hand in hand with improved graphical fidelity in video games, you are able to actually capture more like micro movements in the human face. So your face scans need to be more accurate and in general a little bit more human, thus more flawed, 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 thus more flawed. Humans have a bunch of flaws on their faces. This is a very common part of being human.
Now, you might be thinking, oh, they didn't do anything to Tifa. No, allow me to demonstrate the laziest form of censorship. All right. This is what we do to beauty these days. We cover it up in black cloth. So what you have here now is Tifa with 33% more black cloth. Now I thought, why would Tetsuya Nomura do this? This is his character design and he's director of the game. He should have control of keeping things good. But then I remembered he loves covering his characters in black cloth, full on cloaked out like Kingdom Hearts, baby. I never liked the Japanese designs anyways. I prefer the Saudi Arabian. It has so much style after all. Keeping things mysterious is just so much more intriguing to me. I'm kidding, of course. Like Square Enix's marketing team when the game first launched, I'm trying to make this as little of a deal as possible, but the fact is, it is a huge, colossal deal. To start, both the original game and the remake are rated T for teen, and there's no justification for censorship when they're both rated the same. You can act like it's not a big deal, but with games this old, one of the greatest things people look forward to is increasing the level of graphical quality, and the things that people wanted enhanced the most were 2 of the biggest assets in the original game. Well, I'm from the future, and I'm sad to say those assets have actually been nerfed. You see, they passed off the black cloth as some sort of sports bra, meaning that less movement is justified, so why bother animating it? The straps now blend in with part of the black cloth, meaning less accentuation for that area. Her thighs are almost completely covered up by the same material, and you might think you get a little fun out of the top, but no, they put tiny bike shorts on her, so nobody gets to have any fun at all. Somebody didn't understand the assignment here. You see, when you have a beautiful character, you're supposed to max that stat value like the original game, make it as beautiful as you can. Enhance it, not cover it up. Surprisingly, there is a game and there is a director that worked with Square Enix that understood this. His name is Yoko Taro, and his most notable quote is,
Third question. Why does a combat android have heels?
実際のところは僕は女の子が好きだっていう理由が一番大きいです。
Came up with, a girl wearing heels in the future. But the biggest reason is that I just really like girls.
This is the man who should have been in charge of Tifa's new character design. This man actually went to the trouble of putting in animations and codings built for players who want to appreciate the character's beauty. And to his credit, for knowing his target audience, the game went on to sell way over sales target, which is something that Final Fantasy VII didn't do. I think that part of the motivation and inspiration for making fantasy games is creating things that are so beautiful, impossibly beautiful, that they cannot be seen in real life. That gives it the edge over non-fiction. But with Aerith and Tifa, it seems to me like Square Enix was looking to make a game called Final Reality instead of Final Fantasy. Now on to our last and final character, the Gremlin. And you might think that you can't really screw up a Gremlin any more than it's already screwed up. I mean, what more can we do? And the answer is, you did too much.
I'd love an encore, if that's cool.
No, Cloud, what are you doing? You'll kill us all.
Normally I charge an orb per song, but I'll make a special exception this time. Here goes.
Don't do it. There's too much of her in the game, just like Sephiroth. She's in every freaking cutscene. She chimes in on every bit of dialogue. She has her own freaking side game in Intergrade. Nobody asked for any of this. In the original game, I could literally ignore her and she just wouldn't even be in my party. In the remake, ignorance is no longer bliss. Ignorance is no longer an option. She has to be in everything. And now that the remake is voice acted, you get a whole nother layer of annoying on top of things. Behold, listen to the new sights and sound of this fun character.
Come to me, airplane, follow the smoke!
Anytime that she's in a 50-foot radius of the party, it feels like I'm driving a van to Disneyland and she's the kid in the back who won't shut up. This was tolerable when I could just read her dialogue, now I have to listen to it every 2 minutes. With her and Chadley's powers combined, this feels like the most juvenile and brain-dead game I've ever played.
Get marginalized talent into the industry, to protect them the way that we would want to have been protected, to lift them up, and to get them into an industry where they're too often shut out. And basically, I think to take over in the hopes that some really dope people will be able to lead into kind of a new era for an industry that's been kind of, the same way too long.
Right, so now that I put down my controller and shut off the game out of fury, let's give these characters new paragons, ones that they deserve after the remake. I would call Aerith the paragon of mischief, I would call Tifa the paragon of suppression, and I would call Yuffie the paragon of annoying. So that about concludes this video, and before anybody says, oh, he's just picking on women, no, that's entirely the opposite. In fact, I'm saying how important they are in video games. I know this because I played Final Fantasy 15. And don't worry, because I'm a man of equality, I'll make one for the men if this video gets 100 likes. But anyways, that's all I got to stick my neck out for today. Thanks for sticking around until the end. I'm Video Game Turtle. See you next time.